We are honored to be introducing the 2015 Annual Statistical Review from Guy Carpenter, the full name of which is Risk and Opportunity in the Year of Horse. Whether you are a capital modeling practitioner, an industry analyst, or a company stakeholder, you will always find great value in this review. The review is divided into 8 parts. The first part is overview. You could get an introduction to our guiding principles, extensive database, and business definitions. In the calculation notes and limitation parts, you will get information about our calculation, what the indexes are, etc. The lines of business mapping for expenses tells you the acronym used in the annual statistical review, so you will have no difficulty understanding those abbreviations. We have carefully defined the market segments illustrated in this report, divisionally and functionally. The tables and exhibits inventory gives you all the tables and exhibits that is illustrated in this review. In the end of the overview, you will be introduced to this year's contributors. The second part explores many aspects of underwriting risk. Using the ultimate loss ratio function, we developed the table for all lines of business. Then we identified the largest 50 P&C insurers based on total premium each year and plotted this figure. The solid lines illustrate the 10th, 50th, and 90th percentile of individual company performance in each year. Loss and ALAE ratios in industry aggregate for all lines and for individual line of business is plotted in the next exhibit. For the competitive differentiation parts, we sort companies by mean loss ratio from lowest to highest and illustrate volatility with a colored bar spanning the 1 standard deviation on either side of the loss ratio. The next exhibit depicts recent performance and the volatility in each line of business aggregated by divisional market segment. We also charted the combined ratio for the largest 100 providers of each line of insurance, or as many as available. The last exhibit in this part charts the combined ratio by line of business for each market segment in the ASR. Then comes to the market inequality section. This exhibit depicts a Lorenz curve for 8 lines of business, as well as for the industry overall. To construct these curves, we sort the companies in ascending order of total direct written premium, then proceed to count the number of companies and the running total of cumulative premium they write. The Gini coefficient is a simple metric calculating the proportion of total area under the reference line that is outlined by each Lorenz curve. For the empirical risk and return section, this exhibit plots average underwriting return as a percentage of earned premium dollars against historical volatility for each line of business. For risk and return scatter plot by line of business, please refer to the appendix. In the frequency and severity trends section, the exhibit combines loss experience and claim counts from the industry statutory database with macroeconomic proxies for insured exposure base. With this combined data, we present standard actuarial measures by line of business, frequency, and severity. Trends over time reflect changes to the pure premium for which insurance policies are purchased. The next chapter is the reserve development risk. You will see in this section that empirical volatility in claims reserves is closely correlated with claims duration. First section is about industry risk in total. We compared both the potential for 1-year adverse development and ultimate adverse development in claims reserves between lines of business. Then, the reserve for a particular accident year is re-estimated periodically, which is illustrated in this figure. The next 2 sections illustrate the successive evaluation of ultimate losses at yearly intervals for each accident year, both by line of business and by market segment. The uncertain liability duration is discussed in the 4th chapter. So, in this table, we calculate the percentage of the ultimate loss that is paid in each development period and also estimate the undiscounted Macaulay duration for each line of business. In the next table, we present to you the coefficient of variation for incremental loss that is paid in each development period. And the combined statistics of those 2 tables are illustrated in the next exhibit. The 5th chapter is about correlation concerns. Our correlation modeling index is an extremely practical resource to vet and validate correlation design decisions in your own economic capital model. The following table details the correlation in the ultimate loss ratio between lines of business. The correlation and autocorrelation is given by the 2 equations. The following exhibit is an illustration highlighting the importance of market share in actual experienced correlation for individual portfolio of product lines. It includes an individual chart for each correlation coefficient, as the example shows here. The following correlation modeling index is a portfolio guidance for correlation experience. For individual companies, the correlation actually experienced between two lines is affected by both market signal and process noise. The paths illustrate the range of results a company may experience given a certain premium base. In the following chapter, we discuss about expense benchmarking. The following two tables presents expense ratio for the entire industry based on the 2014 IEE. We also analyzed premium and expense trends, as is given here. Industry expense trends, expense ratio, industry premium trends, growth rate. They exhibit purchase growth rates in total premium and expense for the entire industry. In the final chapter, for the first time in the ASR, we explore the industry's historical balance sheets and capitalization since 1996. The following exhibit depicts the industry's historical operating performance, highlighting underwriting performance and realized investment returns. The industry's historical balance sheet since 1996 is also presented here. We also show to you how capital has flowed in and out of the P&C industry, public companies, and mutual companies over the last 3 calendar years by the following waterfall charts. In the industry asset profile section, we portray the historical asset profile of the P&C industry, highlighting how the growing capital base and impact of the investment markets have altered asset allocation strategies. The various components of invested assets are shown with a corresponding percentage that represents its ratio to total invested assets. A line on the chart represents total invested assets divided by policyholder surplus. The final section is about BEST's capital adequacy ratio, BCAR, which is a key surplus adequacy metric in the P&C insurance industry. We chart the historical BCAR scores of the mutual market segment and the public market segment. In the appendix, you will find more detailed information about market segmentation, underwriting performance and volatility, reserving development risk, uncertainty liability duration, correlation concerns, expense benchmarking, Guy Carpenter's capital modeling solution suite, and what's next in the future ASR. We hope that this annual statistical review has provided to you some valuable food for thought. Please visit our website for the downloadable PDF file for more detailed information about the ASR, and please feel free to give any suggestions or comments to our mailbox. We are looking forward to hearing your voice.